I've often thought, how can we take and put this stuff that I already know how to do, how do I apply it to a horse? I wanted to do it so that I felt like I had the knowledge to go forward and legitimately help horses. I'm often asked what kind of education that I had to become a equine PT or a horse PT. It started off with, of course, my interest in physical therapy. I became a PT assistant and graduated from PT assistant school in 1996 from Lake Superior College in Duluth, Minnesota. That's where I grew up, so I went to college there. Then I moved to Nebraska and really felt like I needed more to treat my patients like I wanted to. And I also found that to be licensed as an animal therapist or an equine physical therapist in the state of Nebraska, you had to be a physical therapist. So I went to PT school. That took me a while to get through. I had to get my bachelor's degree first from Doane. I went there because it was a non-traditional program that I could go in the evenings and I could work during the day. Then went on to the University of Findlay, Ohio. I graduated from the University of Findlay in 2005. What should have taken me about 7 years to do to get a PT degree, it took me about 14 years to do. After I graduated from PT school, we started a family and I was learning the ropes as a PT. And then I found out about the course offered at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville to become a certified equine rehab practitioner. So I started the didactic work for that, or the book work for that, in 2015. And you had to do so much of it ahead of time and take tests and study modules online and watch videos. And basically it covered the theories behind the modalities that we were using in physical therapy already. So a lot of that was more review for me, but the anatomy of the horse was something that I had to learn almost, completely new. Not that I was unfamiliar with horses, because we've had horses my entire life. I had to learn, the anatomy and the kinesiology of it, what muscle causes the horse to move in what way. That was a really good background to have. Went through all of that. Then in October of 2016, I went to Knoxville, Tennessee to study at the University of Tennessee and do the hands-on portion of the training. That training itself, the hands-on part, was only approximately 10 days. So that wasn't a huge amount of time, but it was jam-packed with a lot of information because you weren't learning the information brand new. It was a review of everything you've studied over the past, basically my whole lifetime, because I've been a horse person my entire lifetime. And then, from 1996 to 2016, we studied physical therapy. What we covered when we were there, we learned a lot about exercise prescription. So core strengthening, baited carrot stretches. We learned how to write up rehab protocols after a horse had been injured from, let's say, a suspensory injury. And this was based on the phases of healing. So things that we come up with in traditional PT, a protocol of how to rehab a rotator cuff tear or a rotator cuff tear after surgery. Basically, it's applying the same thing to horses. So we learned how to come up with exercise prescriptions for that. Any kind of rehab condition that you would want to develop a program for, we covered those kinds of things. We had to write up different case studies. We had to come home and do case studies on horses that we had for clients or ourselves. So a lot of it was just developing those programs based on the science behind the phases of healing. We also learned manual therapy skills. We learned how to do joint mobilizations on the horse. And so studying the mechanics of the joints, then we learned how to do joint mobs. A lot of times people will ask me, well, do you do chiropractic? And no, I don't do chiropractic. I did learn from chiropractors equine chiropractors how to do joint mobilization, but I'm not a chiropractor, so I can't call it a chiropractic adjustment. They are similar in how they are done. I typically do a little bit lower velocity, so they're not as fast, and I typically take the joint through that range of motion multiple times. So if you see me working on a horse, it's not going to look like your equine chiropractor, because I'm not a chiropractor. That was something that I felt like I needed more hands-on training, and so I went to further courses on that in Arizona in, I believe it was probably 2018 or 2019, and just wanted a whole weekend of just that. And so that was a really good course that I had done to improve those joint mobilization skills. The other thing that we did is we took our traditional PT modalities like therapeutic ultrasound, electrical stimulation, and applied that to the horse. It was really fun and interesting to me to do that. I've often thought, how can we take and put this stuff that I already know how to do, how do I apply it to a horse? Part of the training was applying these human-based modalities that we've used for years to the animals. Some of the other neat things that we covered at the University of Tennessee was an aqua tread, and getting a horse in an aqua tread and coming up with a exercise prescription for that. I don't have an aqua tread. I would love to, so if I ever win the lottery, you will see an aqua tread at my house. But right now at this point, it's not feasible for me to get one. We also were able to use a hyperbaric chamber or see the hyperbaric chamber. So that was really interesting. They said they used that a lot in wound healing, snake bites, things like that. So we were able to check that out. And then we had an anatomy lab while we were there. So we were able to dissect different parts of the horse, lower legs, neck, back, things like that. So it really allows you to have that hands-on experience and really understanding as you're dissecting that part of the anatomy, how it works. It was truly a great experience. I wanted to do it so that I felt like I had the knowledge to go forward and legitimately help horses. For my confidence level, I wanted to be licensed, I wanted to be certified, and I wanted to do it right. I didn't want to just be, Joe Blow went and got her certification, off of the internet. I wanted to truly know what I was doing and talking about. Now, this is such a new profession that there's a lot that's unknown. And had I not went through the training, I probably would continue to have a lot of self-doubt as to whether or not I'm doing what I should do. It's a great way to combine my love for physical therapy and my love for horses. If anybody ever has any questions about it, just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to talk to people about it. It is a long road. The certification program, the CERP program, Certified Equine Rehab Practitioner, is only available for physical therapists, vets, and vet techs. If you aren't one of those three professions or licensed individuals, then this is not the program for you. But if you are, it is a great way to be able to tie those things together. So hopefully that helps and kind of takes you down the path that I went to get to where I am today. It is a constant learning process. Continually learning, continually trying things, seeing how it works out for that individual, and then categorizing that in the memory to be like, okay, I know I had success when I tried this, or I know this was a disaster when I tried this. It's kind of like horse training. Each horse is individual. You don't always know what's going to work with them. And so you just have to try it. Try to do your research on it, try it out, see how it goes. Might not work for this horse, but it might work for another horse that you're working on. Same thing goes for people. We have to do a lot of trial and error with people as far as, what works best to treat this person's back pain might not work the best for treating the next person's back pain, because there's so much that can be different in exactly how they sustained their injury or how they're, how they came to be about with that pain. So hopefully that makes sense, and enjoy some of the pictures that we have from the university, and we'll see you down the road.